Since betting markets and experts agree that the Supreme Court is likely to rule Trump's tariffs illegal, somebody needs to ask the White House and Caroline Leavitt who deserves to get refunded. Should it be businesses? Should it be the consumers that actually paid most of the tariffs? Or should it be the foreign countries that the White House has lied about and said we're actually paying these tariffs? Even the Trump administration's own lawyer in the Supreme Court admitted that consumers were paying most of the tariffs.
Raise the tariffs. If a tariff is imposed on automobiles, who pays them?
Typically there'd be regardless of who the importer of record is, there'd be a contract that would go along the sort of line of transfer that would allocate the tariff, and there'd be different. Sometimes the foreign producer would pay them. Sometimes the importer would bear the cost. The importer could be an American, could be a foreign company. A lot of times it's a wholly owned American subsidiary of a foreign corporation. So it gets allocated. The empirical estimates range from like 30% to 80% of like how much is borne by American citizens.
Trump's lawyer really was dancing around that question, not wanting to admit that 80+% of the tariffs are likely being borne by U.S. businesses and consumers. In all the articles I'm reading about tariff refunds, they all are assuming the refunds are just going to go to businesses. Well, obviously, businesses pass those costs on to consumers, so I think Democrats would be wise to move forward legislation that would actually reimburse consumers for the vast majority of tariffs paid. They could split it 30% for businesses, 70% for consumers. I think it is only fair that we should get the tariff revenue refunds, because if companies already passed that cost on to us, why should then companies get the refunds? And then they're going to get the money twice, essentially, for the tariffs. And that would be a huge, huge corporate giveaway. So we deserve the refunds, not companies, and congressional Democrats should move forward legislation to try to make that happen and put the White House on notice that we are going to call them out for their big lie about who paid the tariffs.